Good day, everyone. I welcome you all to the Masterclass 2025, Episode 2 of ServiceDesk Plus MSP product. Now, in today's episode, we'll be talking about leveraging PSA capabilities in ServiceDesk Plus MSP. Now, I'm Aditya Oswal, and I'm a product expert with ManageEngine, and I'll be the presenter for today's session. In the previous masterclass episode, we saw how you could get started with Services plus MSP application by setting up your MSP organization's details, onboarding your accounts and users, and even adding the different user groups and technician groups. Further, we also saw how you could configure the different help desk fields and automate recurring tasks such as technician assignment, notifications, and so on. Now, in today's episode, we'll be talking about the different PSA capabilities that are available within Service Express MSP, right? But first of all, the question arises, why are these PSA capabilities important, right? For MSPs, PSA capabilities are getting more and more essentials by the day. And the reason behind that is these PSA capabilities help you manage one of the two important pillars of service delivery, right? So the first part is, of course, the IT services that you deliver to your end users of your different customers. But the first part, the most important part, which is usually not emphasized on much, which is the client management part. Now, this client management part, the overall client service experience part, is taken care of with the help of PSA capabilities. Right. So with the help of PSA tools in Service Plus MSP, you'll be able to manage your resources, you'll be able to streamline your billing process, and you'll be able to gain real-time insights into your business, into your MSP business, as well as with the help of all these, you'll be able to ensure efficiency and growth in today's competitive IT landscape. Let's dive into the agenda for today's session. Right. So in today's session, first and foremost, we'll check out how you can accurately track the total technician efforts the total efforts that your technician put in into the different activities, right? Into attending the different requests. Next, we'll see how you'll be able to you'll be able to create personalized service offerings or service plans, as we call them in Service Express MSP, and enable seamless automated billing operations to your end user, to your customers. Next up, we'll check out how you'll be able to optimize your resource allocation with the help of resource management and maps integrations features. And finally, we'll check out how you can utilize the MSP Business Dashboard to monitor all your business health, and you'll be able to utilize the user surveys to get actionable insights on their entire service quality with the help of the user service feature. Right? So let's discover how you can optimize your MSP operations with Service Desk Plus MSP. This is the administrator login of Service Desk Plus MSP, right? So we have dived right into the Service Desk Plus MSP application. As an IT admin, you'd be able to check out the different modules that are available within the product, the different views and different dashboards once you go into that, and the different capabilities that are available. Now, for the first item in the agenda for today's session, we're going to be checking out the timesheets, right? So, with the help of timesheets, you'll be able to accurately track the time spent by your technicians on each ticket, as well as you'll be able to maintain the complete transparency and ensure the accuracy in the times that are logged by your technicians. So, how does this feature work in Services Plus MSP? Let's check it out. Now, in order to enable the timesheets, first you'll need to go to the admin panel. And under admin panel, on the left-hand side, we have MSP details, which you would have also seen in the previous episode, right? So under this, we have a peculiar feature setting called timesheet settings, which is where you'll be able to enable the timesheets. Now, once you enable the timesheets, your timesheets feature would appear over here under the three dots, right? So this is visible here. Now, once your timesheets are enabled, your technicians would be able to log their time in each of the requests they work on, and all those work logs that your technicians would add there would appear within the timesheets panel of their in their applications, and being and the managers that are associated to each of those technicians would be able to approve their timesheets accordingly, right? And so in order to configure these timesheets, you can check out the different capabilities that we have here. So first up, we can configure the different timesheet period, right? So whether you want to check out the timesheet, whether you want your technicians to submit your timesheets only weekly or bi-weekly, then you can select the start day. Let's say you start your work on Monday and go till Friday, so you can select the start day as Monday. Further, you can you can log the target that you want your technicians to complete every week, right? So for instance, you want your technicians to log completely 40 hours in the entire week, so you can mark that here. Or you can also set daily targets such as 4 to 8 hours per day. So that way you'll be able to ensure that your technicians are spending effective enough time to deal with the different tickets that they're assigned. And further, you can select from these multiple options, such as allowing multiple multi-day work log addition. So that can help you adding a complete taking a complete time into consideration. If a technician spends a time on a ticket on multiple days, then you'll be able to allow your technicians to add or update work logs so that they can ensure that the right time is the accurate time is logged there. And you can also allow time zone differences between technician and application server. So let's say your technicians are available in different sites, so that can also be taken into consideration. And further, you can exclude certain technicians such as IT admin, so that those technicians do not have to fill these timesheets, right? They come out of the bounds of these timesheets. Now once you have set up this setting, you'll be able to click on save and go to the timesheets tab. Now, as a technician and as technicians manager, we have two different options available over here. Now, as a technician, I'd be able to check out just the my timesheets tab, and this is where I'll be able to generate new timesheets and send it for approval to my manager, right? So let's say I have drafted a timesheet, so it would look something like this. This is where the accounts that are associated with each of the request, project, change, or task would appear over here. The different statuses of each of these tasks or requests or projects would appear over here. And further, you can check out the different times that I've logged in as a technician, and you'll be able to check the overall billable hours and non-billable hours for that particular week that I've spent here, right? So once that's done, I'll be able to submit this for approval. Once I've made sure that all the times are logged accurately, I can submit it. And then as a manager, now I have the option to approve or reject each of these timesheets, right? So let's say one of the timesheet that I've received looks like this, and I want to ensure that all the times are logged accurately. So, but certain times needs some approval, some changes. So I can choose to reject this, and I can choose to provide an option. I can choose to provide a message where I can tell them what changes are required, and they can further make those changes and resubmit their timesheets. And once they have logged their time accurately, I can approve it. And so once the timesheet is approved, you can be sure and you can be confident that you have logged the right time, right, in the different work logs. Now once let's say if a technician's timesheet is rejected, it would look something like this. So this is where technician would be able to go back to their tickets, to go back to their different tasks right from here, and make the changes to their times that they've logged earlier, and they can click on refresh so that the right times are populated over here, and resubmit the timesheet, right? So that way you can ensure your technicians log their efforts accurately, and you'll be able to bill your clients accurately, as well as you can further extend these to your payroll team, and you can pay your technicians accordingly, right? So further, you can also ensure that in during this timesheet submission and management process, your technicians and your technicians manager are duly notified, right? So that can be done with the help of an automation called notification rules, which you may have seen in the previous episode under the admin setting. So let me quickly go and show you what notifications are possible. So under timesheets, under notification rules, you'll be able to notify technicians when their timesheet is approved or rejected, and the approvers would be able to check. Will be notified when the timesheet is approved, when their timesheets are when they have a timesheet submitted to them, or when they recall a timesheet, right? So that's what we'll be able to check, and that's what we'll be able to notify to each of the technicians and approvers. Now, with that, we come to the end of the timesheets feature. Next up, we have automated billing. Now, automated billing is one of the very important capability that MSPs look for in their ITSM tool, right? This feature is particularly important because billing can be a very challenging task for MSPs, especially when they're dealing with multiple clients over multiple which are available in different geographical locations and multiple sites, right? And because of their different types of customers, there could be a possibility where they have multiple service contracts based on the different types of service that they provide, also associated to them, right? So managing these types of challenges takes a toll on MSPs, especially if these are done manually or with disjoint billing solutions. So with Services Plus MSP, it becomes very easy because it comes out of the box, and it comes very seamlessly, uh, joined or integrated with the internal workflows, right? So let's check out how billing within Service Desk Plus MSP work, right? So first we'll talk about how we can automate the entire billing process and how we can set it up completely. Then we'll check out the two other billing options that are available with us, such as ad hoc billing and prefixes. Now, in order to check out how you can automate the billing, we'll go to the setup and see the three different plans, three different items that we have to configure. And finally, we'll go into how we can create the service contracts. I'm diving into the application again as admin, and under the admin panel, I'll be able to go and find the billing section. Now, under billing section, first up, I have bill rule. Now, this bill rule is what ensures that every ticket that's coming in is the cost assigned to dealing with each of these requests are assigned accurately, right? So, with the help of these bill rules, you'll be able to assign the right costs. Now, how do you create a bill rule? Simply click on the plus button, provide the bill rule name, description, and select the criteria that you want a particular ticket to pass, so that this fixed cost or fixed cost per request or fixed cost per hour can be assigned to that particular ticket, right? You can also choose to take in the differential cost into account. So for different operational hour or non-operational hours, you can assign different costs based on your organization's criteria, and you'll also be able to charge your clients based on the different weekend or holidays that you work for them, right? And once those costs are logged in here, and once the right criteria such as account, the categories, the request types, or different fields that we have available in the ticket are selected, they'll be able to you'll be able to finally create a build rule, right? So next up, we come to the service plan, right? So this is where you design the different tiers, the different services that you make available for your clients, right? So these services could be either postpaid or prepaid. So now you may just be offering postpaid services or prepaid services. Now let's see how you'll be able to design these different types of service plans within the Service Desk Plus MSP application. So first up, let's click on the plus option and let's check out. So here you'll be able to provide them the service plan name, and service plan type can be chosen here. So you can either charge them per hour, you can either charge them per request, or you can even charge them a fixed cost for the entire service plan, right? So, and next, you can also decide their billing mode. So as I said, you can either charge them postpaid or in a prepaid manner. So let's say you've selected postpaid, so you'll be able to select the bill cycle. So let's say you want to charge them every quarter. So you can select the quarterly option, provide the base charges, select the quarterly allowance. Let's say you want to charge per hour, so you'll be able to mention how many hours are you providing. So let's say you want to provide 20 hours of service in this particular service plan. So your customers would now be able to avail 20 hours of your services with the help of this, if they choose this particular service plan, right? And let's say they have exhausted these service plan. So how will you charge them now, right? So you can choose to charge them at a different cost with the help of the bill rules that we just configured, right? So you can quickly go here and select a particular bill rule. Let's say you want to charge them specifically for these requests. So let's say I've selected this bill rule. So you can see that costs have already populated here. Now, if you want to charge them at a differential cost per hour, not fixed cost, so all those differential costs could also be uh, brought here with the help of the different bill rules that you have created, right? So as you can see, the charges have been populated. So now once their service plan get exhausted, you'll be able to charge them at additional usage charges with the help of the bill rule, the values that you've assigned in the bill rule. And further selecting these options, you'll be able to click on save and design a service plan, right? So now that's about the postpaid service plan. But what about when you have a prepaid service plan, right? So let's say you have created a plan where a customer is paying a prepaid cost. So they are paying complete amount upfront. So this is where the top up plans in the service plan come into picture, right? So since they have paid a complete cost upfront, they once their plan is exhausted, they won't be able to utilize your services, right? But you can ensure that to ensure the service continuity, you can also give them an option to choose from the different top up plans that you create, and they'll be able to then continually avail your services, right? So let's check out how you can also create the top up plans in ServiceDesk Plus MSP. So these top up plans are pretty simple to create. You can just provide the name, the cost that you want to assign for these top up plans, and the total amount of request units or R units you want to provide them based on the different types of the you know either if you want them to pay as requests or hours. So once you have created your service plans and created your bill rules and top up plans and associated, and now you have the different plans you can provide to your customers and they can choose from, right? So now we move to the service contract part. Now this is where it all gets tied in. Now to create a service contract, in the contract billing part, we click on that plus icon and we can provide the service plan that a particular customer has opted for. Let's say if they have opted for a critical services service plan, so you can provide the service plan number, a name, a description, and the start and expiry date. And further, we also have an option to associate multiple service contracts, right? So you can select and we can choose and select a particular service plan, a particular service contract as a default contract, and there could also be another contract associated which would be based on different criteria, right? So for example, this is a critical services plan that Acme Securities customer is opting for. So it could be an additional plan that they're opting for along with their existing service plan, right? So once you've selected these start and expiry date, you'll be able to select when to notify them about the billing, and you'll be able to attach the service contract files here. The billing details can also be added here, such as billing date, billing format, currency, and the date, format, currency, and the total discount that if you're offering them. And further, you'll be able to also configure the different tax details, such as the tax that are applicable within your region, right? So you can ensure that your clients are always billed accurately right from your ServiceDesk Plus MSP application, right? So once you have created a service contract, it'll be your clients would automatically be billed based on the billing cycle that they have chosen, right? So complete manual intervention is gone in terms of billing your clients, right? So that way you can ensure that you can automate their entire billing process, right? But now what's ad hoc billing? Now let's say you provided the bill to your client. Your client got the invoice, and they have some changes that they suggested in the total cost. And let's say a certain amount of times were logged incorrectly, and they want those times to be corrected. So now, once you correct those times, you'll be able to regenerate the ad hoc bill for them, right? So that billing, that would be found under the billing tab. So under the from the three dots, you'll be able to find the billing tab over here, where all your different contract numbers would be listed. The active contracts and the other contracts would be listed. Now, let's say you want to regenerate a bill for the gold plan that Acme Securities have opted. You'll be able to click on generate, regenerate, and this invoice would be created where you'll be able to send it to your customer, right? So you can send this bill to your customer, or you can also choose to mark it as, and you can choose to also mark it as a main bill, right? So since there were changes in this particular bill, you can choose to mark this one as main bill, and this would be stored for your audit purposes. Then further, you also have an option to export these bills in different file formats, so that you can, if you want to make certain changes later on to your billing process, you'll be able to refer to this bill, right? So that way you can generate the ad hoc bills for your clients. And finally, we go to the break fixes, right? So what are break fixes? Now let me quickly go to the request module to showcase what break fixes could mean, right? So let's say I have worked on a specific special request, which technicians which doesn't come under any of the service contract. So how would I be able to bill them? Or let's say it's a very special request which required a lot of manpower, and you want to charge them for this particular service separately. So how would you do that, right? So you'd be able to go to the actions button, and you'll be able to click on print job sheet option. So once you click on print job sheet option, your job sheet would be created with all the necessary details and the billable items, and you'll be able to quickly send this info, confirm the job sheet, and mark this request as billed. You can send this job sheet to your customer, and you can get paid for this, right? So that way you'll be able to generate a job sheet or a break fix bill, a specific bill for a specific service that you provide to your customer. Now, as I said, the further you have an option to associate multiple contracts to your client as well, right? So this is where the contract that's associated to a particular request would show up, right? So and in the tickets, you'll be able to select the different contracts that you want to associate to a particular ticket also. Let's say this particular request requires another service contract to be billed as another service contract, so you can choose that service contract and choose to mark the request as billable, or to mark a request as non-billable, or you can simply leave it so that it will be billable, right? So that way you'll be able to completely customize your billing workflows in Service Plus MSP and bill your clients accurately. Now, next up, we have resource management with the help of resource management feature and maps integration, right? So this particular feature is very, very important for MSPs, as managing resources is a very difficult task, especially when the work allocation is considered. Because as an MSP, you could be having on-site technicians which are working in your customer locations, along with the technician team that's working within the organization remotely for the different customers, right? So how do you ensure that the different tasks that your resources are assigned are not overwhelming for them, and are assigned in the right time duration as well, right? So that can be done with the help of two features in ServiceDesk Plus MSP. Now I'm diving back into the admin login. So under the home tab, first feature that we have is resource management, right? So this resource management is a very important feature here. It's but very simple but very important feature. Now let's check out how this feature is useful for MSPs in managing resources. So now, as you can see, the different technicians' names are appearing over here, and the different tasks are listed over here according to the calendar, right? So these tasks could be unassigned or unscheduled as well, along with the other tasks that are already assigned to them. And along with that, you can also check out these tasks based on hours, days, or even weeks. Now, apart from that, you can also filter these tasks by priority, status, or even task type. Now, how do you ensure you manage your availability, technicians availability, and the total time that each technician needs to give in put in for each of the tasks that they're assigned? Well, it's very simple. All you need to do is simply drag and drop a particular task to the and assign it to the other technician, right? So that way, it's that simple to assign a different task to a different technician and ensure that technicians are not overloaded with the different tasks. And also, you can drag and drop this arrow, and you can ensure that technicians spend only the right amount of time to a particular on a particular task, right? So that way you can ensure optimal availability of each of your technician, and optimal, and you'll be able to completely and properly effectively manage your technicians effort, all your resources. Now, apart from this, as I mentioned earlier, you would also have certain technicians which are working on site, right? So how do you ensure that your on-site technicians, the availability of your on-site technicians are also managed accurately? Well, that can be done with the help of a maps integration that we have in the product. So under admin tab, we have, under apps and add-ons, we have maps integration. Now, once you enable this feature, you can either choose the free of cost integrated Zoho Maps in the application, or you can choose to utilize your subscription of Google Maps by providing the Google API key over here and click on save. Let's say you go with this Zoho Maps. Now, once you save it, you'll be able to go to these three dots and find the Maps tab appearing over here. Now, once you go to the Maps tab, you'll be able to uh, find out the different your customers that are spread across the globe, right? So let's say for this particular MSP, their customers range from North America all over to the Australia in the different locations, and multiple locations in particular countries, right? So your technicians could be traveling across different sites. For instance, one of your technician is working in India, somewhere around Mumbai, and the technician has to now travel to and you have another request coming in from Kolkata, but your another technician that's available either on your in your organization's location, or let's say in a nearby country, somewhere in somewhere in the Middle East, right? So how do you ensure that the right technician is assigned? Well, instead of assigning the next available technician, you can check out that the person that's assigned in the Mumbai location can directly be moved to the different customer location, which is also within India, right? So that way you can ensure with the minimal travel, with the minimal cost, you'll be able to move your technicians around the globe. And how do technicians provide their location? Well, technician can utilize the ServiceDesk Plus MSP mobile app and simply provide log in the different location that they are in, and their locations, and once they choose their once they mark their locations, those technicians would also be appearing over the map in different areas where they are in, right? So that way, with the help of the resource management feature and maps integration, you'll be able to ensure that you manage all your resources availability and assign tasks to each of your technicians effectively, right? So coming to the next feature, which is business dashboard. Now, this particular feature is very important because this particular feature provides a real-time overview of your different business operations, right? So going back to the dashboard, going back to the product, here under the home tab, you'll be able to find the dashboard tab. So this is where you'll be able to check out the business dashboard over here, right? Along with your different help desk, problem and change, assets and project dashboards, you also have something called business dashboard. Now you'll be able to find all the important numbers on top, such as revenue, total number of technicians, total build time, total assets that you manage, your customer satisfaction rate, and completed requests. Now, apart from that, you'll also be able to find all the important numbers on your fingertips, such as revenue, month on month, the last 12 bill cycles, billable versus non-billable hours. And let's say you want certain widgets up the order, you'll be able to also customize this dashboard and organize these widgets, right? So you'll be able to pick and choose. Let's say you want to know about your ticket flow, at a glance, and let's say you've logged in and you want to know how your what your top 10 technicians are doing, how your top 10 technicians are doing. So you'll be able to customize this particular dashboard, and you can find all these numbers at your fingertips, right? So that way you'll be able to ensure that you can find the different gaps that are available in your services, and you can fill it, and you can ensure that you provide profitable services to your client customers. Now, finally, we're going to the last feature, which is gathering the end user feedback on different services delivered, right? So that is done with the help of user surveys in Services plus MSP. So now let's quickly dive back into the application. Under the admins and admin panel, you'll be able to find out the user survey option, right? So this is where you'd be able to configure the different types of surveys that are available in Services plus MSP. Now, once I go to the survey configuration, I have two types of survey options available. One is request-based survey and one is general survey. Now, general survey it doesn't have to go out every day or for every single request that's closed, right? So general surveys can be conducted periodically, let's say quarterly or biannually, to ensure that you get an overall service quality feedback for the services that you provide to your customers and users, right? And now coming to the first one, which is request based survey. So now this you can either choose for incidents or service requests or for both, right? So let's quickly go and select both and see how you can configure these survey. So now here you can provide the name and description. You can select the particular account for which you want to conduct a survey. Then you can select the from the different types of questions that you have available here, such as rating or opinion scale, and you'll be able to provide the question such as please provide feedback. So once you've designed your questionnaire over here, and you can also choose to provide additional comment option to the end users as well. Now, once you've designed that, you can configure the further options, such as you can select for how many incidents or service closed you want this survey to be sent to the end user. So it's not necessary that you send it for each and every incident or service request that's closed, right? So you want to reduce your survey emails that you send them, but you also want to gauge the right feedback. So that's how you'll be able to optimize, and you can send in the surveys in different frequencies, right? You can also choose to send in for incidents for every 5 or 6 or whichever number you want to choose. So 5, let's say you get a lot of requests from a particular a customer account from their requesters, so you can only choose to provide the survey option after every 5 or let's say 15 tickets, right? So that can also be selected over here, right? And further, you'll be able to also select a criteria based on which this survey is sent to them, right? So you can choose from the different field options that are available over here. For example, I want to conduct a survey for a particular department in a customer's site. So I can simply select the department is, let's say, their engineering department, or so once I've selected the right department, I can simply click on publish survey. So for a particular customer's engineering department, this survey would be triggered based on the different survey configuration that you have provided here, right? So once you publish this survey, it would appear over here and it will look something like this, right? So this is a completely customized survey with all the settings enabled here, and you can check out the different tabs that are available to you once the feedback starts pouring in, right? So you can go to the reports tab and you'll be able to check out the total satisfaction level that your services, your IT team has provided to your end users, right? And you can also check out the different response summaries over here at a glance. And further, you also have an option to translate these surveys into the local languages and still conduct the survey. right? And further, you can add some comments here for your log purposes, and you can also check out the history, so that you can check out the different changes that were made to this particular survey, right? So that way you'll be able to craft a very useful incident or request based survey, right? And similarly, you can click on general survey, and you can conduct the general survey, which, let's say, you want to conduct quarterly. So you can provide the name and description of the survey. You can select the account for which you want to send this survey to, and then you can select draft a questionnaire for them. And further, you can choose the type of survey. So since this is a periodic survey or a general survey, we have selected that type. You can and since you want to conduct this survey quarterly, so I've selected the survey recurrence as yes. Now I can provide the start date for this survey, and I can choose to provide the options. Let's say I want to conduct it quarterly, so I've selected 90 days. Every 90 days I want to repeat this survey, and I can further provide the end date, so that finally, after a certain amount of time, I'll be able to get a complete picture of my service desk, of the services that I provide to my customers. Now, beyond that, you can also choose to conduct this survey for all the users or all the end users that you provide services to, or you can choose from the different available user groups. Now, user groups were discussed in the previous episode as well, but to give you a quick recap, you can quickly go to the admin tab, and once you have configured all your requests and technicians, you also have an option to customize user groups over here under the admin tab. So this is where you'll be able to create a user group, and let's say you have created a group for the different admins in a particular department. So you've selected the department name is administration, and all the users under this particular department are now fetched into a single group, right? So in the similar way, since we were conducting the survey for engineering department in the previously selected request based survey, let's say in a similar fashion you have selected a particular advent user group, and you want to conduct survey only for this user group, right? So you can ensure that surveys are taken effectively for the right audience, where you feel like your service quality may be lagging a little bit, or where you want to find out how your services are working. And once you're done, you can publish survey, and your general survey would be configured as well, right? So this is how your general survey that was configured would look like. So you can check out how the different types of questions that you have created for them, right? So you can see the multiple star type, the different types of questions that are created, the reports for each of these surveys that you create, and in the similar options that are available in the request based survey, right? So that's where we come to the end of today's session, right? So we understood how we were able to create request based and general surveys as well, to gauge the complete feedback about your service delivery. Now let's do a quick recap on what we learned today. So we first up saw how you'll be able to utilize timesheets for precise activity tracking for each of your technician and ensure that right times are logged in. Then we saw how we were able to automatically build the different customers by creating different service plans and associating them within the service contracts. Then we saw how you'll be able to efficiently allocate your different resources with the help of a resource management feature, as well as you can ensure the on-site resources are also effectively allocated with the help of the maps integration. Then we saw how you'll be able to gauge your real-time business health with the help of MSP Business Dashboard. And finally, we saw how you can utilize user surveys for continuous service improvement and service delivery, right? So with that, we come to the end of today's session. Let's quickly check out what else you can do to learn more about the Service Desk Plus MSP application, right? So you can check out our support portal, which is available on our website at www.servicedeskplusmsp.com. And you can go to the support tab, and you'll be able to find the different release notes, product videos, and community options listed over there, where you'll be able to find out all the latest happenings within the Service Plus MSP application in the release notes. And in the product video section, you'll be able to find out the different detailed explanations of different features within the product video section. And then finally, you can check out the community, a vibrant community where customers such as you come together to help us improve the Service Plus MSP application. And you can also go to our resources section and find out our admin guide there, where you'll be able to find detailed explanations on how you can set up different features, the different modules within Service Plus MSP, and how you can utilize each of them effectively. Right? So, with that, we come to the end of today's session. So, I just want to thank you all for joining today's session. And this is Aditya signing off.